When my stepmother Karen told me she was hosting a girls' night, I didn't think much of it at first. Karen was the kind of woman who seemed born for evenings like that, tall, elegant, with that easy laugh that could fill a room. Ever since she'd married my dad, Michael, she'd become this sort of magnetic presence in our house. The kind of woman people wanted to be around, whether they admitted it or not. I'd been living with her for about 3 years, since Dad remarried after Mom passed away. At first, I kept my distance. She was beautiful, yes, but in a way that felt intimidating, almost unreal. Her sharp blue eyes seemed to see straight through people, and when she smiled, it was like the room tilted toward her. Dad adored her, and even though I tried not to admit it, I could see why. But the thing about Karen was, she always seemed to have layers. Like she was hiding something just out of reach. She'd throw these little gatherings with her friends, girls' nights, she called them, and I always assumed it was just wine, laughter, and gossip. I stayed out of the way, usually in my room with headphones on. But this night, something was different. It was a Friday evening. Dad was away on one of his overnight business trips, which meant the house already felt quieter, darker. Karen had been moving through the living room earlier in the day, lighting candles and arranging wine glasses, her heels clicking softly against the hardwood floors. I'd caught myself watching her for too long as she bent to adjust the candles, her dress hugging her figure. When she noticed me staring, she tilted her head and smirked. "Big plans tonight, Ethan?" she asked casually, her voice lilting in that way that always felt both playful and dangerous. "Just homework," I muttered, suddenly fascinated with the floor. "Well," she said, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear, "don't mind the noise. We'll try not to keep you up." Noise. That was what I expected, music, chatter, maybe some shrieking laughter when the wine got to them. And at first, that's exactly what I heard. But around 10 p.m., something shifted. I was lying on my bed, scrolling through my phone, when I caught the sound of my name. It wasn't loud, but it was clear. "Ethan." I froze, my thumb hovering over the screen. The voices downstairs had lowered, like they were sharing secrets. I strained to hear. "He doesn't even realize it yet," one of Karen's friends whispered. Another voice chimed in, low and amused. "Wait until he finds out." I sat up, my pulse quickening. Find out what? I tiptoed out of my room and down the hall, careful not to let the floorboards creak. From the top of the staircase, I could see the faint glow of candlelight flickering against the living room walls. The laughter had faded into hushed tones, words drifting just out of reach. I descended a few steps, crouching low so I wouldn't be seen. My heart was thudding, part fear, part something else. "He's older now," Karen's voice floated up, calm but firm. "Older." They were talking about me. I moved one step lower, my eyes narrowing to see into the living room. That's when I spotted it. Spread out across the coffee table wasn't just wine bottles and snacks, but a scrapbook. Thick, leather-bound, its pages splayed open under the candlelight. And on those pages were photos of me. My chest tightened. They weren't just family photos. Some of them I didn't even remember being taken. There were pictures from school plays, candid shots from years ago, even old report cards tucked neatly into sleeves. Childhood drawings I'd completely forgotten about. Karen's slender fingers traced one of the pages. "I've been collecting everything," she murmured to her friends. "One day, he'll understand." A wave of unease rippled through me. What did she mean, collecting everything? And why show it to her friends? One of them giggled. "Karen, you're obsessed." Karen's lips curved into that knowing smile. "Maybe. But there's a reason." My body buzzed with adrenaline. I couldn't just sit there, watching from the shadows. My legs moved before I even made the decision, carrying me the rest of the way down the stairs. The laughter stopped instantly. Every pair of eyes in the room snapped toward me. Karen's smile didn't falter. If anything, it deepened. "Well," she said softly, "looks like the guest of honor finally decided to join us." I stood there, frozen in the doorway, the flicker of the candles painting shadows across her face. What is this?" I asked, my voice low, trembling. Her friends exchanged glances, clearly uncomfortable. One of them rose to her feet. "I should go," she muttered, grabbing her purse. The others quickly followed, mumbling excuses as they slipped out into the night, leaving Karen and me alone in the candlelit silence. The door clicked shut behind the last of them. Karen turned back to me, her eyes glinting like something dangerous and magnetic all at once. "This," she said, gesturing toward the scrapbook, "is for you." I took a hesitant step closer. "For me? Why?" Her gaze softened, though the intensity never left. "Because I wanted you to see how much you matter. How much I've noticed, even when you thought no one was watching." I swallowed hard, staring at the scrapbook. Page after page of my life, curated, preserved, almost worshipped. "This is a lot," I whispered. Karen rose gracefully from the couch, her dress flowing as she crossed the room. She stopped just inches from me, her perfume intoxicating. "Ethan," she said, her voice a whisper meant only for me, "you think I don't see you. But I do. Every single day." Her words wrapped around me like a spell. My breath caught as she reached out, her hand brushing lightly against mine. The touch was electric, sending a shiver through my body. "You're not a boy anymore," she murmured, her eyes locked on mine. Time seemed to stretch, the air between us charged with something I couldn't name. Fear, desire, confusion, all tangled together. I pulled my hand back, my mind spinning. "Karen, this isn't, we can't." But she only smiled, a secret smile that told me she already knew what I was thinking, maybe even before I did. "You'll understand," she whispered, stepping back toward the couch. "One day, you'll understand why I've been waiting." Please like and subscribe my channel for more romantic videos.